Hey, my name is Alexander Williams, and I'm doing a speech on the three branches of government. Now my cameraman is going to show you the audience.
Oh, and me.
Yeah. So for an introduction slide, how many of you guys know all three branches of government? If you do, raise 3 fingers. If not, just keep your fingers down. Okay. So now for my introduction slide, I'm going to tell you all three. There's the legislative, the executive, and the judicial. Now I'm going to go into a slide covering my main points, which again is the legislative, the executive, and the judicial. And this slide is just going to cover the very, very core part of each one. The legislative, as you can see, makes the laws. The executive enforces the laws. And the judicial interprets the laws. Now we're going to go on to my next slide about the legislative branch. The legislative branch has 2 houses of Congress. There's the House of Representatives and there's the Senate. The Senate has 100 members, 2 for each state. The House of Representatives has 435 based on population for each state. So Florida, a lot of people, a lot of representatives. North Dakota, 2 because it's the minimum. There's not very many people there. The House of Representatives are elected every 2 years, so that's how long their terms are. For the Senate, it's 6. The leader of the House of Representatives is the Speaker of the House, John Boehner, Republican. The leader of the Senate is Vice President Joe Biden, Democrat, and needless to say, they don't get along. There's over a 90% re-election rate for both of them because most people just see them and check re-elect. So once they're in there, you're normally a lifer. Okay, the next one is the executive branch, which is the branch that enforces the laws. There's 2 sides to it. There's a federal side, and there's a state side. The top of the federal side, or the leader, is President Obama, and then he's federal officials. Now, the leader of the state side is the governor for the state. So in our case, it's Rick Scott, Republican, and his state officials. So they enforce, you have the state police, and then you have like the FBI. Those are the federal, that's the difference. Now we're going to go on to the judicial branch, which is who interprets the laws. Like the executive, they also have a federal and a state side. The federal side would be the federal courts and the Supreme Court, the law of the land. The state side is like your local courthouse, your appellate court, stuff like that. And the way it works basically is you take your case to your local courthouse, and if it doesn't get solved there, you go up to your next court. Your next court, you go to federal. If it doesn't get solved there, now it goes to the Supreme Court. Now the Supreme Court gets a lot of cases every year, and they only pick certain ones. Important ones. A few examples of ones they've picked in the past: Brown versus Board of Education, segregation, prohibition. A big one that they're doing this year, and people have been wanting them to do for about 5 years now, is the legalization of gay marriage. So after this year, if they do take it this year, which they're scheduled to, it'll either be legalized in all 50 states or illegalized, which means that what they say is the law of the land. Now I'm going to go to my conclusion slide. Okay, now I'm going to ask you a question that you may remember if you were around here 5 minutes ago. If you know all 3 branches of the government, raise 3 fingers up.
I know now.
Looks like we have an improvement. Except for her, I don't think she learned, but she's a cat. Okay.
Did you get it?
Did you get it? No? All right. Well, thank you guys for watching my speech. Appreciate it.
That was awesome.